So the other night I was scrolling on my phone, and yeah, shamefully to admit, I was scrolling on my phone. It was a long day of work and whatever, but that's not the interesting thing is. I used to, I was thinking that I should probably go to sleep, those kind of thoughts in your head, hey, it's time to sleep, you gotta wake up early tomorrow. And as soon as I started thinking that, the most interesting thing happened. Every single video that was popping up on my feed, it was titled it's time for you to sleep, or you should go to sleep. And I'd be like, what the hell? So I'll switch to a different app, and then I'll still see those kind of videos. And I'm thinking, okay, this is super weird, because I understand if you're talking about something and your phone is always listening, so it's gonna show you what you wanna see. But in this case, it was a little bit different, because I was thinking that how can my phone know what I'm thinking? But that's not actually what's happening. So the other day I read this article which was talking about something called RAS, which is reticular activating system. I think that's what it's called. And that's basically your brain's filter. So essentially, we're all consuming, or we're all taking in so much input, so much sensory information, hearing, sounds, visual, whatever it is that we perceive, but we don't process all of it. Our brain narrows it all down to what is important to us, to whatever we are thinking about. And I just thought that was pretty cool and dismissed it. But then I realized this is why, when you think, all right, you bought a Honda Civic, you bought that car, and suddenly every car you see on the road is also a Honda Civic. How is that possible? Or if you're someone who's insecure, you notice insecure people always project whatever they're thinking inside, their own insecurities, onto others. And this is exactly what happens, because let's say you're insecure of your weight, you're all constantly, so conscious of it, you're thinking I'm overweight or I'm under, whatever it is. Suddenly, all the conversations you're part of or that you hear, it feels like the word about weight and size always comes up to you. To another person, they're not thinking that. It's just another word they're using. But to you, that's what it feels like. And then when it's about you, you feel like you're attacked. So then, that kind of person is going to project it onto the others. There's insecurities onto the others. And that's essentially what happens. All of this is responsible, or this entire system in your brain that's responsible for filtering it out. That's what's doing all of it. And I thought, all right, so there should be a really good way to apply this to real life. And I thought, yeah, that makes perfect sense, because this is what people talk about when they say you have to manifest and attract whatever it is that you want. It's not magic. It's not like things just fly your way. It's more like as soon as you start thinking about something, you start noticing it, because your brain changes the filter, it adjusts it, and that's what you start noticing. So then you're thinking, all right, so if you want to adjust for opportunity and you're thinking, I'm a lucky person, I'm going to be, I have plenty of opportunity, I have so many things I can do that are going to bring me towards what I want. And if that's what you're thinking about, you'll suddenly notice, holy shit, the world is full of opportunities. It's absolutely insane. And I was just thinking that the other day. So this video is not in my typical setting. I'm actually not at home right now. I had to fly out to a work trip, and luckily it was LA this time. And I've actually never been here, and I've been wanting to go here for a long time. So it is what it is. It's not as glamorous as I thought it would be. It's just kind of like another city, but the weather is nice. I like it, so it's pretty cool. But that's besides the point. I was walking along and just going on a walk. I don't usually go on walks in my city because it's extremely boring, and you always have things to do on a day-to-day. But when you're out traveling, you always go on walks, or at least I do. And I was thinking, all right, so as soon as I start thinking of what I want, and I'm like, okay, this is cool. These people have these kinds of lives. Oh, a lot of things are possible here that are not possible in my hometown where I'm from in Canada. And I thought, that's so crazy. There's so many opportunities here. And suddenly it's like I feel my brain literally rewire itself in real time. Suddenly I am immediately like, all right, so much opportunities for this. This is what I need to do to get here. There's a lot of fit people walking around. There's so much more healthy food I can buy here, so many options. I don't understand how people are living in the States. They have so many more healthy options than we do in Canada, and yet they're still somehow obese and overweight and unhealthy. And I think that's, after observing, is due to the fact that there's just 10 times more of everything here. There's 10 times the healthier food, but there's also 10 times the opposite, the unhealthier food. And it's up to you to pick whichever one's better. And it just turns out that the healthier food is a lot more expensive also. So it makes sense, same shit as in Canada. But the point is there's a lot more options here, a lot more variety for people who actually wanna move their lives forward. And yeah, that's just kind of an observation, completely, going on a tangent here. But the point I'm trying to make here is that if you guys are finding yourself always, thinking negative thoughts, or the outcomes that you don't want keep happening to you, it's not just life happening to you. Yeah, there are random events that are going to happen from time to time, but a lot of the time it's the fact that you're just thinking that. The people, I know these some people in my life that are very, very negative. I don't spend much time with them at all, actually. I try to minimize it, but there's only so much you can do. But the point is, that negativity that's just what a person sees their life through. That's the lens they're looking through, and to them, everything's happening negatively. The government is screwing you over. The gas prices are super high. The inflation, recession happening in Canada. Holy shit! While all of these things are true, on the other hand, I don't see them that way, and you don't have to see it that way either. It's like, okay, this is just something that's happening externally. Yeah, it affects me, but it's my job to find out how to overcome that and see the opportunities that it presents as well. And I think that's the best part. And so now there's, at least I found out there's a name for this thing. It's called Reticular Activating System, RAS. That's what's responsible for that filter. That's what makes you notice things and not notice others. And that's why the same two people can lead the exact same lives but have completely different experiences because of what they notice. The person who likes cars is going to notice cars. A musician walking down the street is going to notice, wow, there's so much music playing. A realtor, somebody who sells houses and properties, is going to notice houses and properties, the real estate market. So we all literally paint our reality because it's all happening around us at the exact same time, but we can only really process a very, very small portion of it. So yeah, that's my message for today. Thanks for watching.